Hey guys, what's up? RedRaven here with part 4 of the Blue Complete Comprehensive series. In this one we're going to cover the mod matrix a bit and show you how you can get even more movement out of the sound that we've created so far. So, just to review, the sound so far sounds like this. If you're wondering what notes I'm pressing, first it's a C, then it goes to a B flat, then an A flat. Pretty simple. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the mod matrix and the step sequencer and a few LFOs maybe to get a little bit more movement and a little bit more character and emotion out of the sound that we've created so far, starting from video 2, and video 1 was just kind of explaining how the oscillator sections work. Okay? So within Blue you have 3 step sequencers, A, B, and C. They can go from 1 to 16 steps from your choice here. You can have them be free, mono, or poly reset. You can sync the speed based on the tempo. You can go to 2 times tempo, or half the tempo, or 2/3 the tempo. It's not like 4th 1/8 or anything like that. And you can smooth out how the steps are. So what we're going to do is we're going to just kind of make a bit of a pattern here just by clicking and dragging around here. And I kind of want it to be a bit random, but still be in time. So if we look at this, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You see that the 4th beat I'm going to kind of make a bit higher than the rest so that it has some rhythm. And then this one I'm going to also raise up the 8th note of the beat so that it kind of fades into the downbeat a little better. And I'm going to leave the speed at 1 time the tempo, so it'll be perfectly in time with the tempo. And we're going to go to the mod matrix and select source, synth, step sequencer A, destination, and we're going to go to Oscillator A shape since we use some wave shaping on Oscillator A. So we're going to go Oscillator A, and then we're going to go shape A. And we're going to drag the amount up, way up, so all the way to 100%, so we can hear exactly how this is affecting it. And you hear it's a very subtle effect, so we're going to go ahead and drag this down a bit. And we're going to go step sequencer A, and we're also going to control Oscillator A's feed, or feedback. And we're going to control that inversely, so we're going to go negative 43%. We're going to take a listen to how that sounds, but first, for it to be able to negatively impact the feed, we have to turn the feed up some. If we go ahead and turn off the other oscillators, you'll hear the effect a bit more. So you hear there's like an extra type of step sequencer effect going on in there. If we turn that effect all the way up on both of those. So we're going to go ahead and turn those back down a bit, about 50% each way. And we're going to go to Oscillator B now. Now for Oscillator B, we're going to use a different step sequencer. We're going to go step sequencer B, and we're just going to, well, first I click and drag all of the bars up so I can count them right. And we're just going to do every other bar, we're going to have up, and the rest will be all the way down, okay? And then we can play with the different levels on these. And we're going to do something like that here, okay? And we're going to set the speed to half the tempo. So this one will be a half the speed of step sequencer A. And for this one, we're going to only affect step, so we're going to go step sequencer B, and we're going to affect Oscillator B feed. So we go destination Oscillator B, feed B, and we're going to positively affect this one so that it turns the feed up on each of those bars. So let's take a listen now. Let's turn that up all the way to 100%. I like that at 100%. It gives it that nice like bit of high frequency distortion to it. So if we bring that in with Oscillator A now. added more movement to A and B, but let's add even more. So let's go ahead and let's use a free LFO. So we're going to go ahead and assign free LFO A to oscillator A. I don't know, what should we affect? Let's do actually no, we're going to affect oscillator C and D with an LFO. So we're going to go turn on C and D now, and we're going to affect their wave shaping with an LFO rather than a step sequencer. So we're going to go destination, oscillator C, shape C, and we're going to turn that one up to about 50% for now. And we're going to turn the shape up a bit. And for us to hear anything happening, we're going to have to go to the wave shaping and phase distortion tab and click around in here to change that oscillator up a bit. So let's take a listen now. Well, nothing's happening. Why is that? Well, because we haven't turned free LFO A on. So we're just going to kind of drag a random speed without it being synced. I'm going to use 2.93 hertz. That sounds okay. And then we're going to go free LFO A. Whoops. Okay. And we're going to control oscillator D feed. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and turn that up plus 80%, and we're going to take a listen to it now. Alright, that's not bad. So if we bring both of those in now. Okay. And I'm also going to use free LFO B to control oscillator D fine tune, and we're only going to do that by about 5%, and we're going to go to free LFO B now, and we're going to turn the sync on for this one, and we're going to turn it to about 1/8, and we're going to solo out oscillator D and take a listen. And we're going to go to the mod matrix, and we're going to drag that percentage up a bit here. So we're going to go, let's go 20%. That's what it sounds like at 68. But we don't want it that much. We want it just to be subtle. So we're going to go about 9-10% here. We'll go 10. And that's just going to help keep the detuning between C and D a little bit more, not random, but it'll keep it moving so that the detuning between those has more movement. So let's take a listen with C in it now. Okay, and now let's bring A and B back into the mix here. Okay, now let's mess with some of the global features. So if we go to the global tab, we can see that I haven't messed with anything here, but we have some options. The first option I'm going to mess with is the analog emulation that Blue has. So we're going to go ahead and click and drag all of these bars down a bit. And now it's not going to change the sound a whole lot, but it will add a bit of analog emulation to the synthesizer, and that means that the oscillators aren't always going to be the exact same every time we press a key, and if we hold a key, the oscillator shape can change and the tuning can change a bit, just like if it were a real electrical circuit and the electric current through it was changing ever so slightly, and it would give just a little bit more sound to it. So we're going to go ahead and turn the precision minimum speed and maximum speed. We're going to go ahead and set those at 17% and 65% respectively. And all that's going to do is just add a tiny little bit of character. It'll be hardly noticeable. Alright. And then we're going to go play mode, and I'm going to choose legato. So that if I press a key, and then go to another key, you don't get the start of the key pressed again. So it just kind of slides. And then I'm going to go to the portamento mode, and I'm going to go held rate, and I'm going to drag it up to about 60%. And then I'm going to press a C and then press a different note. that gives us a bit more playability out of the sound. So let's mess with some unison on this now. So I'm going to go ahead and click this and set it to 2, and I'm going to drag the unison amount up a bit. And remember, this is still playing mono thanks to my Fruity Loops mixer check being set to mono. So even though this sounds bigger and fatter, it's still playing mono, so this is exactly how it will sound on a big club system. And I think we've pretty much maxed out the possibilities for this particular sound. You could mess with some other things like the chord. If you press learn and then you play a chord, it will learn the notes that you just pressed, and every time you press one key, it will duplicate that chord based on semitone steps. I'm not going to do that for this, but you could. You could also add the over filter. And you could maybe EQ it, so we could set like the low frequency to, like, I don't know, let's set it at 85 hertz and boost that volume, and then you could set the high frequency at like 2 to 3 kilohertz and boost that. And there we go. That's the final sound that we came up with in just 4 videos from start to finish, and 10 minutes in each video, so 40 minutes total, and that was with me explaining everything. Me by myself, just making this sound from scratch without having to record it or explain what I'm doing, would usually only take me about 10-15 minutes, maybe 25 total if I was, doing something else like eating a sandwich or something. So don't be intimidated. Just experiment. That's what these videos were meant for, to just show you that experimentation and just off your head, the top of your head, thinking of things and trying things and different routings and different amounts of modulation on different things and different oscillators can create different sounds. Like if I go ahead and name this preset, go to the preset tab, click rename, and well, I have 2 screens, but this box pops up. It pops up on my second screen, but this will pop up. I'll go ahead and name it Blue Tutorial Patch, and then if I click save, this box pops up, and I can go ahead and it will already have it named whatever you named it, and I can click save there, and then I can load it up in here. So we now have the same patch loaded in 2 different slots, and I can just tweak the oscillators and just get a completely different sound out of it. And if I go back to the original, sorry, I'm having some computer issues. It keeps glitching out on me here. I'm going to give it a second to think. Okay, so if we go back to the original here, and I'm going to play those same notes on the new patch, that all I did to tweak it was just change the oscillators. You saw it. That's how different you can make the sound. If you add that much modulation and that much affecting to the oscillators and the shaping and pulse width modulation and tuning of them, just something as simple as changing the oscillators can drastically change the tonal qualities of your sound. It will still have the same sequence and stuff like that to it, but you can get a different pad out of the same patch, essentially. So you could use this same patch, just tweak a couple oscillators, and use different notes, and nobody would know that you just loaded up a patch you already made and tweaked just very slightly within like 2 seconds to make this completely different sounding sound. And that's really all I wanted to show you guys, that you can just really, the more modulation and the more movement in your sound, the easier it is to drastically change that sound with just a few different things. Like you could route some of the mod matrix things a little differently, you could change some of the oscillators, change the filter type, and boom, you've got a completely different sound out of the same patch. So I'm going to go ahead and rename this one Blue Tutorial Patch 2, and I'll save that. And look at that, we just made 2 patches that sound similar but different at the same time. So you could use these in the same song at different parts of the song, and nobody would know. And they'd be like, huh, that sounds a lot like the first one, but it's different. And that's how you can also use this to create basses and just tweak the bass by changing a couple oscillators, and then you have 2 basses that will work well together that you can use in the same song, or leads or pads or whatever it may be. This is how I do it, and this is the way I like to do it, so I thought I would show that to you. And in my next video series, I'm probably going to be covering... Actually, I'm not really sure what I'm going to be covering. I've got some requests. I've got to kind of sift through them and see which one I think would be the best to do first. And I'll get back to you on a video blog to let you know which one is going to be next. So this is it for the Blue Tutorial Complete Comprehensive Series. And this is RedRaven peacing out for the final time in this series. Don't forget, if any of these videos in this series helps you in any way, or you liked them or enjoyed them or want more, please donate. The donation link will be located in the description box. Any money I get from donations will go towards studio equipment only. First and foremost, a new computer so I can record longer, higher quality, better tutorials for you guys and make better music and show you guys more things and in more depth without having to worry about killing my CPU or RAM. So this is RedRaven peacing out. Hope you enjoyed it.